Welcome. This video is for developers and software engineers. If you are not a developer or software engineer, please keep scrolling. There's probably some better content for you to look at. If you are a software engineer or a developer or a coder, stay tuned. We are about to show you how we are working with ReactJS in Firebase with a new feature on Alexa for musicians. Let's show you what it is that we're working on. So earlier today we live streamed a video of Alexa for musicians. I actually don't think I pushed it live, so I'll show you when we're running locally. But what we're going to do today is we are adding a new feature that will store a bunch of data from a ReactJS website, and it will save all of that to Firebase associated with a specific user that is signed in. Let's get started. First, we will open up our command line and we'll go into our projects directory, into the project we want to work on, which in this case is Interactive Album. Go off deep end. Alright, so let's code to open up our code editor. We already have it. Now let's run npm run start. Before I do that, I'm going to just make sure I'm on the branch I want to be on. I'm on the Monetize branch. Perfect. npm run start. This is going to start our local React server, so that way we can... Yeah, I know I need to update that. Ignore you for now. I know it's important. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so now we've got the local server running, and here's what we did in the last video. We added this route of /monetize. Monetize your Alexa skill. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in a bunch more inputs on here, where a musician can type in their SoundCloud links, their image links, and everything else. And then when they click the next button, or I guess I'll change that to the save button, it will store all of that data into Firebase. Let's get started by adding in a couple more of the fields, and once we do them, we'll start working on the save button. So to get started, boop boop. Here's our React code. This is our Monetize component, and a lot of this is outdated. It's all from a copy and paste I did, so a lot of this we will be able to change. On change. So in this we are setting the state of ID to the value of the state. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to actually insert everything that we need right now. Don't need that comment of phone number. This is actually now free loop URL, and then this second one, I'm just going to work down the list. We'll have premium loop URL. Now from a thinking of human-centered design, would it make more sense for humans to alternate back and forth between free and premium, or thinking of how they're going to interact with this? They will land on this web page and they'll have SoundCloud open to copy all of their information from SoundCloud. They're probably going to want to copy everything regarding the free loop before they move on to the premium. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And now we'll do all of the free things. So we have a free loop display name. And this will be value is not this.state.artist, it's actually free loop URL. Save that. Now for display name, it's going to be free loop album name, free loop album name. And now I can change this to free loop display name. Don't need any parentheses. And we'll put the display name before we put the URL. That way people can name it. I think that makes more logical sense. People will want to name what it is that they're doing before they put in the URL. So we've got display name, we have free loop, and then I think we have free loop image is another one that we need. Free loop image URL. Free loop image. And we'll make this the ID as well. So this ID we're going to be using inside of our change function to set state for all of them. What's nice about doing it this way is we don't have to define and do specific cases for each of the individuals. This ID will go ahead and take care of setting the correct state to the value and then updating the value that is displayed inside of the text field. On change, and then the value is always going to be that state value, which is the ID. So this ID is free loop URL, and in our onChange function, we're getting e.target.id, so this would be free loop album name. So when we change it, the ID will be free loop album name, and we'll set the value to the new value, which is what we've updated it to. So we've got display name, we've got URL, and then we also need image URL, SoundCloud preferred. This one we don't necessarily need SoundCloud preferred. It can be any URL, and now we have all three of those. Anything else we need for free? I think those are everything we need for free. So let's go ahead and check out how do we look. Free loop display name. Cool, and we're typing in there, and now we should be able to type in here, and we should be able to type down here. So we have a free loop display name, free loop URL, free loop image URL. And I think I'm going to put a little hyphen, and I'm going to put display name before the free loop stuff just to make it a little bit more visually appealing. How does that look? Free loop, free loop, free loop, display name, URL, image URL. Loop URL. We'll go media URL. Yeah, so we've got a display name, a media URL, and an image URL. Let's make a commit. Always want to stop and make commits where you can. So our commit message will be I add UI components for free loop. Git push origin suites monetize. Cool, so that's all up. Now we'll run npm run start again, and we'll go through the same process except for the premium side. So the first thing we did was we added in our free, and this is all just the basic UI right now. So we'll do the same thing for our premium side. And I think it's all the same, so I can just copy this and then change it all to premium. And that's what I'm going to do. Boop. Premium. 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 Premium loop album name, boop, premium loop album name, premium. I'm just going to copy premium because I think we're going to have to type it a lot. premium loop URL, media URL. All right, and then the final one. Let's see what we got. Display name for free loop, display name for premium loop. I think I want an H1 or some header to declare free versus premium. So I'll do that. We'll make it an H3. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. Cool. Display name, media URL. Let's make sure that we have this. Hey back. What's your name? Hello world. And we can see that these IDs were overwritten. So let's check out what we're using down here. Need to replace that. Need to replace that. All right, now let's see if it's better. Hey you. What's your name? Hello world. You are amazing. You are enough. Cool, so we got it all, but we're still not lighting up this next button. So we got to figure out why that's not lighting up, and do we have everything? So I needed a premium loop, I needed a free loop, needed a save button, which we haven't worked on yet, upsell frequency. And then I think we also need one for dollar amount. So we'll put those first. No, we'll put them last. Shop, we'll call this shop settings. Shop settings, and now in shop settings we will have subscription fee, and we will also have an upsell frequency. So the subscription fee we'll have as subscription fee. Okay, so we've got now a monthly subscription fee. And I don't think we want this to be text, but I don't remember what we can have. So let's go input number type. Okay, I think it's just number. Number. And then same with this other one of upsell frequency. Those are both going to be numbers. And upsell frequency, I don't remember what he's looking for, so right now we will just call it upsell frequency. And we want this to be between what is it, between 0 and 1? We'll make it between 0 to 100. Or I guess it should be 1 to 100. Upsell frequency. And let's see what we got over here. Cool. Free loop, premium loop, shop settings. They type in their info, they click save, it adds it all. Sends it off. Let's make sure. Cool. I can't type any letters, which is perfect. Cool. And then upsell frequency, we can do 100. We can do 65. 65. And now we just need this next button. So we have the free loop URL. We have the, and I'm going to go ahead and, now that I'm remembering it, I'm going to make a pause to make a commit. Git status, git add src, git commit -m. I initialize all monetization UI components, free and premium and shop settings. Git push origin suites monetize. Okay, that's pushed up. Let's run our server again. So we've got free loop, premium loop, upsell frequency, free loop display name, free loop image, premium loop display name, premium loop image. Let's see, now we're going to start shifting our focus into the save button. So one, it needs to show up and it needs to not say next, it needs to say save. Instead of saying next, let's have you say save. There it is. Now it says save. Okay, so it'll say save, and now we want it to change based off of this dot state dot Yep. So if that is blank, and for now I'm honestly just gonna make it a bunch of I'm gonna make it a very long if statement. And we don't need to test the phone number. Free loop album name. We need free loop URL. And let's just hold it off right here to see if it does what we expect. Okay, so is invalid if that's empty or that's empty. And they are both empty. So it's invalid, but it's still showing. And down here we see disabled is true if is invalid is also true. And this should be invalid because this dot state dot free loop album name is nothing. I guess let's find out. Alert this dot state dot it's undefined. So it's undefined. We're just going to make it super simple. Excuse me. Ah. And we can probably stop alerting. Yeah, let's stop that alert. So now if we put something into the first two boxes, it should uncomment hello. Oh. I'm surprised that made it enabled. Why did that? So this turns into true. This dot free loop album name is true. But then this free loop album name does not exist, so not that is going to mean true. True or false is still true. Alert is invalid plus is invalid. What you talking about? Okay, so it is invalid here. And now when we change this, uh-oh, maybe it won't let me. Now it's not letting me change anything. And I have to use the bathroom, but I'm live streaming. Is invalid is false as soon as I change that? What? That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, ha! Well, I have both of these defined as the same thing. Silly me. Let's change this to free loop URL. And now we should be able to delete this. Boop. There we go. Okay, so now let's try again. So we type a letter in there and nothing happens. If we also type a letter in here, now we can click the save button. Great. Great. So now let's make these short changes. So what happens when we click the save button? It goes to on next. And instead of on next, I'm going to change this to say on save, because I took this from something else, so we should be adjusting it. Now I think I'm about to run to the bathroom because I'm sitting here rocking back and forth trying to hold my bladder. So I'll be back real quick. If you're watching this beyond the live stream, I'd say fast forward like 30 seconds, and I'm about to be back. I'm back. All right, so let's keep this moving. So now we have our onSave function. What happens when we click save? I will comment all of this, and I'm just going to say alert hello world to make sure that our OnSave function is working. Alert hello world. So we'll fill in some data, we'll click save, and then let's see if we see hello world. And we see hello world, so that's perfect. And then it tells us that some of the other stuff's not filled, and that's perfect. So we can undo that, and now we'll get current user, and now we're going to look up musicians. We're going to grab the doc this dot. Okay, so we have user. Now we don't have this dot state dot artist dot to lowercase, so we really don't want to check that. We actually want to get the musician name, which should already exist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how we are typically getting and passing this information, and I'm going to get that by going over to one of our existing tabs like voiceover or profile. Profile should be short and sweet. So this goes component did mount, we got a Firebase on auth changed, and then we try to grab the artist and set the state to artist. Do we do a component did mount? We have a component did mount, we get user. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Here we're just seeing if it exists and we create. I think I'm going to copy the entire component did mount from profile. So what this one does is it retrieves the artist name from Firebase, check if the user has an artist. So we try to get that. If it exists, we set the state of artist. Otherwise, we send them over to create an artist, which is exactly what we want to happen. So I'm going to copy this, move it over to Monetize, and replace the component did mount. Bam. And now instead of all this stuff on save, I'm going to comment it out, and I'm just going to alert this dot state dot artist. Alert. Save info in Firebase to musician plus this dot state dot artist. Okay. Okay, all is good. Booda-boo-doo, bada-ba-dap, save, DJ Eric the King 1. Perfect, so we do have that musician already. So now all we have to do is save or update that data. We don't need this user. This is not relevant. Neither is this if statement. So we can cut all this out and paste it over top of that. Docref is musicians, this dot state dot artist dot to lowercase, docref dot get, if doc exists, artist name taken. Where else do we save info to that is typed? Create musician. So let's go over to the create artist one. Let's see how we do it over here. Is there anywhere else we're just like saving? I want to update. Instead of dot set, let's go dot update. So, and then we want to update free loop album name, this dot state dot free loop album name. Save that. And then we set the state to the initial state and we push them to uploads. We'll just alert for now. Alert this dot state dot artist plus monetization info updated in Firebase. Smiley face. Save that. So we don't. So we don't even need to get the doc. All we have to do is set the doc. We don't even need this ref. So all we're doing is updating free loop album name to that. So I don't want to overwrite any live musician. So I'm going to go over user is not defined on line 30. Okay, that's because I'm doing the wrong thing. Musicians this dot state dot artist dot update. Now let's go to Firebase. So this is our production database. I'm sure there is some reasons I should not be showing this, but I'm showing it, and let's all just be civilized about seeing this data. So I'm going to modify my user. Hope there was more than just, okay, good. And I think we have a testing somewhere. Testing, yeah, so I'm just going to change my musician to testing. And I'm looking for voice first tech at Gmail because that's who I'm signed in with. Just change this to testing, testing, update. So now over here, when I click the save button, it should tell me save info to that musician. So it says it updated it. Let's see if we updated testing. Testing over here now has, do you have premium? Whoa. Okay, so here's a lot of info already. Free loop album name is Hello World. And now if we change this, and then the media URL we didn't set, so let's go Hello World version 2. Save that. And it's updated. And now it's updated to Hello World version 2. Cool. So we want to now expand what we just did to all of them, because we are saving data into Firebase, which is perfect. We've got free loop album name. What else do we need? I'm just going to go through them all. Free loop URL. After free loop URL, we have free loop image. After free loop image, we have premium loop album name. We got premium loop URL. After premium loop URL, we have premium loop image. What else did we define? It looks like this is the example. So then we have loop upsell frequency. So I'm going to rename some of these variables loop upsell frequency. Okay. And then we'll set it up here. also have loop subscription fee. Loop subscription fee. Loop subscription fee. What else do we have over here? So we've got, where did we go? Okay. Free loop display name, URL and image, display name, URL, image. Premium, we have name, URL, image, name, URL, image, and then finally we have subscription fee and upsell frequency. Subscription fee and upsell frequency. So we should have everything to save. And it all, now we're not validating that they exist, so that needs to change. Free, premium. Now we've got upsell frequency and upsell subscription fee. And then we go upsell subscription fee. Alright, so now the save button should only unlock as long as once we have all of those pieces of information. Am I writing down a note? We need to populate pre-existing fields from Firebase. So on component did mount, we want to set state add all text to do, add all text field values from Firebase. What that'll do is if we set the state here with all the values from user doc, then it'll update those text fields automatically. So actually before we save, I'm going to go ahead and do that. That way we can see what's already inside of the database. So we will set free loop URL, const data equals user doc.data, and now we can change this to just be data dot free loop URL, free loop album name. Does that exist over here? Free loop album name, free loop album name. Obviously it exists. Free loop album name, data dot free loop album name, free loop URL, free loop album name, free loop image, now we shift over to the premiums, premium loop album name, premium loop URL, premium loop image, upsell frequency. And then subscription fee. Alright, so now as soon as the page loads, it should populate all of these values from the existing document. Let's see if we're right. Let's refresh the page. Alright, well, it's not doing what expected, so let's alert it. Let's alert. Nope, nope. Is there no value for free loop URL? Okay. So right now we're reading from the user doc, not the musician doc. So I actually need to go one level deeper. That's a little frustrating. So we'll set state twice. I don't know if that's allowed. So what we'll do is we'll go this exact same thing. Boop, database.collections, musicians. And then we'll just set the state once. Doc artist .get .function. Close that. Close you. Boop. Alright, and then we'll set state inside of this one. Boop. And we'll just call this one doc. Nope. We'll just call this one doc. X, put it up here. It's just doc.data. And now down here we go user doc.data.artist. Alright, free loop URL doesn't exist there. Let's see what happens now. Haha! So now we have populated all of the information automatically from Firebase. So we've got Hello World version 2, we've got a media URL, we have an image URL, display name, media URL, image URL, and then we have subscription fee and upsell frequency. All automatically saved. This is the perfect time for a commit. I'm just going to change this and I'm going to make it please excuse me for being anti-social, an album by Roddy Ricch. So if I save this, it should update the value in Firebase, and then anytime we come back, it should always have please excuse me for being anti-social. So let's see what we got. Please excuse me for being anti-social is now the album name. And I do like that this is just called premium album, so I'm going to save that, and I'm just going to temporarily put hello world to see if it'll update this, because we've really only been playing with that first one. So where's premium? Hello world. Let's change it back. Premium album. Premium album. Alright, I'm going to remove those alerts and also the to-do, because that's now done. But I will use this as the commit message. Go off the deep end, I don't really wanna go. Get status, get add, boop, get commit -m, I add text field values, auto populate monetization text field values, and I think auto populate will be all caps to let us know that's auto populate. So what we're really trying to do is we're trying to link the database to the UI as much as possible. We're really just we're trying to take this data which is inaccessible by the user in the database, and we're trying to make it easily accessible via this GUI, this graphical user interface. Because we don't want our users to play around in this database, but we do want to give them this interface where it's just a graphical representation of our database. And that's what we're doing here. Okay, so the save button, I believe, works. What happens if I delete one? Okay, we can no longer click save, so I can click one. And if I delete any of these, it shouldn't let me save, which it doesn't. So I can paste all that and we're good. So and I think we just committed and pushed, so I don't think we have to git push origin suites monetize. We did not push, but now we pushed. Alright, so now that save button works, we've set up those initial inputs. The save button now works. What we don't have being done is we have not triggered our backend pipeline. So this is all good, but in addition to saving this data, we have to update our backend Lambda code as well as the front end Alexa code. So let me kind of visualize that. We'll go straight to Lambda. So all of the backend code is hosted in AWS Lambda. And so we will have to update the AWS Lambda code to include these loops. And we will also need to update the front end developer.amazon.com, because this is where we find the in-skill purchasing. So we go to Alexa Skills Kit. Let's change over to dynamic music. And now I'm just showing what we actually need to update. So we'll need to update the language model to add in the play loop intents. And I believe it might be tools. Yeah, and then inside of tools, we got in-skill products, and we will need to link in in-skill product. So all of that should be done from update skill by voice. Update skill by voice should be running all those checks to see, oh, okay, should we be adding this? Should we not add it? It should be able to do all that logic and then add it into the skill. So, thinking of what we need to do. Currently wondering, okay, how do we trigger that pipeline normally? And normally being, how do we do it? I want to say it's in our onSmappy skill creation function where it's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another terminal. I'm going to go to cleanable. No. Going in the wrong direction here. Let's check inside of our create artist what happens when an artist is created. What's on next? Okay, so we just take them to uploads. We just set this and then take them to uploads. Hey Google, volume down. So let's go one level higher. And now let's code this code dot slash. That way we can see one level higher into the functions. Let's check index.js. I'm going to check what we actually run over here in Firebase. I don't remember what function gets triggered when we actually need to create a musician. So we'll just check. If you don't know something, just ask. Hey, I don't know which function in Firebase we trigger to create a musician. So I'll just go to Alexa for musicians. I'll sign in. And who am I signed into? I wonder who that is. Okay, I would like to create a new musician and see how it's triggered. I want to say it's OnSmappy skill creation. Let's see what triggers OnSmappy skill creation. It'll be inside of here. Maybe here? Why am I blanking on? Here we go. OnSmappy skill creation. Trigger, it's on a document.create. Anytime we create a new musician, this is triggered. So OnSmappy skill creation is how we do it. Let's check out the details of OnSmappy skill creation. OnSmappy. This is a lot of the secret sauce. So if you're curious of how we actually build the Alexa skills, this is how we do it. This is the stuff. So the first thing we do is okay, so there's update skill manifest. I think it's upload backend code. Upload backend code, here it is. Okay, so it triggers the pipeline. GitLab token is inside of our operating system variable. Nice. And then here's what we hit. Good work, Samir, on using an environment variable here, so that way we're not revealing secret information. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. Just going to copy all that. So this is what we want. Let's get out of functions. Let's go back to the website. Let's go over to SRC components. And now this Monetize one. OnSave. So OnSave, we then want to actually trigger this. So let's figure out what libraries we're already using to make API requests. On publish, we should be making an API request. IP agreement XHR. So we're using XML HTTP request. Let's use that. Copy that. Go back to Monetize. Update. GitLab update skill by voice HTTP request. Very long variable name. Console.log current component.publish. What does the publish API actually do? Oh, okay. We don't care about that. This is where we'll do the new alert. So this alert that we're doing down here. We'll put it there. And then we make a post. We'll be posting here. We want to post there. And now we want to put in a token. And we want to use OS OS is a Python library. So how do we get our environment variables from within a Python or from within a Node.js function? Firebase function environment variables. And I want to retrieve the current environment variables. So let's see how we do that. So it's in the functions.config. I'm going to run this command on a different terminal so that you guys can't see. Or I'm just going to actually move it off the screen over to here. And let's see what it says over here on. GetLab.token is what we're trying to use. So we'll use this same styling over here. And instead of Sun service, it's GetLab, and instead of ID, it's token. Okay, so we've got a token, and then we need, and we'll call that token. And then we've got a ref, and then the ref is master. Which will be set to true. And finally we have variables name, which will be set to this dot state dot, we'll call it current component. Current component dot state dot artist. Current component is defined as this up top. So that should work. Let's delete all this and see if it does. Or we'll just comment it out. If it works, we'll get an alert. So let's just try it. Let's just throw stuff at the fan and see what works. Where is what I'm looking for? Interactive albums. Get out of this page. I care about this one. Where's our terminal? Clear all those logs so that y'all don't see it. Okay. Starting up my server again. Functions is not defined. Well, how do we do it over here? Functions equals Firebase functions. Coolio. Coolio with the Toolio. Cannot resolve Firebase functions. What? What are you talking about? Well, that's over in functions, actually. Do we have anything on the website side? No. Wow. Okay. Well, good to know. We'll do this first. It's been complaining that I haven't done that, so let's run an update. Just updating the packages. I update npm packages. And now what were we doing? npm run start. No, we were npm I Firebase functions. Before we push this up, we'll make sure that the website can actually run. I just use npm update, so. Cannot find Firebase admin. Come on now. Doesn't like HTTP 2. Cannot resolve HTTP 2. I don't know anything about that. Alright, what don't you like? Alright, I don't see HTTP 2 anywhere. Something with the build. So let's see. It looks like maybe updating the packages was not the right move. What do we do here? What is wrong? Alright, you don't like our node packages, that's fine. Let's go back to GitLab and I'm gonna restore the package.json. GitLab. Gonna restore the package.json to what it was. Because maybe I messed it up. I do that. Musician AI website, package.json. We're just going to copy the whole contents. We're going to overwrite my package.json. Now I'm going to delete my entire node modules folder. Whoa, 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 whoa. Am I in the right place? I want to be in here. I want to be inside of package.json. Okay, that's where I'm at. Now here I want to delete the node modules. Delete those bad boys. Okay. Let's go npm I again. If things go according to plan, everything goes fast. Whenever things don't go according to plan, that is when all of the time gets taken up. When things go according to plan, everything goes so fast. Whenever we hit a bug, that is when expectations do not match reality, frustrations happen, extra engineering time is spent, all the fun stuff that comes on the other side of coding. Coding is magic. Computers do exactly what we tell them to. Reading the book Innovators by Walter Isaacson, and he talks about Bill Gates right now in the personal computing and software revolutions. Bill Gates said, computers do exactly what you tell them to. There's no close enough. You got to say exactly what the computer needs to do. So, although it was a different time when they were talking about interpreters and operating systems, today in 2020 we're at a much higher level, a much more abstracted version of code. But that being said, computers still do exactly what we tell them to. So we got to be very specific and very clear what we want them to do. And if you haven't, drink a little bit of water. Stay hydrated. Very hot in July, especially if you live here in Columbus, Ohio. Planning on going swimming tonight. Hey Google, what's the weather? .94 degrees. We're going to be heading up to Alum Creek to do some swimming. Thank you. Let's hope it works. It'll probably tell me this time, hey, you don't have Firebase functions. Yeah. It's because I don't. npm I Firebase functions. And then it'll tell me I don't have Firebase admin. Alright, am I going down the right path with this? It wants me to use request promise. I don't want to use request promise. So the next package I'll want to install is Firebase admin, because I already know it's going to ask me for Firebase admin. So I might as well anticipate the needs of the system. That's another philosophical question. Do you anticipate the needs of the system and move faster? Or do you do the simplest thing that could possibly work and move very slowly and intentionally, one step at a time? I think if we were talking to Uncle Bob, who wrote the book Clean Code, I think he would tell us to move slowly, because he came up with that concept of DTS T T C P W. Do the simplest thing that could possibly work. Do literally the smallest amount of work possible. Do the smallest thing that could possibly work. Make a commit. Check that it works. Make a commit. Repeat. Do the smallest thing that could possibly work. Test that it works. Make a commit. Repeat that process till the end of time. And that's not much different from life. Whether it's taxes or exercise or eating right, do literally the smallest thing. Do the simplest thing. Make it easy. If you want to build, what are we doing with HTTP 2? I'll copy that and I'll see what it's saying. Module not found. Cannot resolve HTTP 2. Let's see what that is. What are you, Mr. Bug? Okay. Okay. All right. So this might be our issue, is we're trying to do it on the front end React component, and it is trying to look for back end. Yeah, this isn't an on right. So we want to access Firebase functions environment variable from website. I guess from Firebase hosting, from hosting. Or is there a way? Or should I just hit... Okay, now I'm thinking I might want to just trigger I might need to create my own Firebase function for this called... We'll call it... add looping. Okay, now trying to intentionally back up and think. I don't want to get these variables anymore. What I'm learning right now is this act of trying to hit this GitLab variable is not going to work, because we cannot access functions config because this is on our website side. So instead, what I need to do is trigger one of our own API endpoints, which will be a Firebase function, and then have that do this task. So I'm going to quickly create an API endpoint, and I'm going to deploy that. So let's head over to, and now I can kind of delete a lot of this in a sec. Unnecessary work. We want to make an HTTP trigger. I'm going to make it a update skill with add looping to musician. It'll be an HTTP trigger. So that'll be in the deploy, and now in our main certif. No, I'm in the wrong place. There we go. We'll copy you, paste you, change the name of our HTTP trigger to add looping to musician. We do this, we get all the schmitz, and then we print the args. There should be a name of a musician to update, which makes sense. If not name, then we return missing name, get the skill ID, try, get certification status. Okay, so now the only thing that I want to do is upload backend code. So let's try that. Let's try just upload backend code. And that will trigger the GitLab pipeline for the musician. So let's go back to certification status. Add looping to musician. So now let's deploy this guy, and then we'll try it out in Postman and see what happens. We'll see if it does what we wanted it to do. Oh, I just updated the wrong thing. I made a poopy. Okay, see, let's go back, save that. Now we want to delete this. There we go. Paste that. All right. So now we'll deploy. See. I'm going to have two terminals open now. One to deploy our functions and one to work on the website. I know we're getting a little complex here. We hit a bug that I was not expecting to hit. Python deploy deploy.py -b double dash only. Now it's the name of the function, which is add looping to musician. Add looping to musician. And now we should be updating our functions and deploying that. So let me show you right now that it does not exist. Over here, you already know it doesn't exist. This was a random bug. So I don't see add allow unauthenticated. Yes, that's totally fine. Okay. While this is going, I'm running to the bathroom again. I've been drinking a lot of water today. we're still deploying. That's always so fun. While we are waiting on this one to deploy, let's check out the other terminal. Pardon me. Alright, so it doesn't like HTTP2. That's cool. That's good. Do we have two? We have two VS codes open. I want the one with the website. So over here, we're going to go back to our package.json and we're going to remove functions, Firebase admin and Firebase functions. We do not, it's not what we wanted to do. And now we'll delete those node modules. Let's go back here, npm I. So we've deleted those Firebase functions and Firebase admin. We also want to remove our references to them from here. And I'm going to, down here, do a lot of commenting out for now. To do API request to add, what's the name of our new function? It should be up by now. We'll find out. It's like add loop to musician or something. Add looping to musician. All right, and that's good. How are we doing on that deploy? All right, so it looks like it's up now. Let's try hitting it in Postman. If you don't know what Postman is the like de facto API testing tool for all engineers, I think globally. Could be wrong about that. Very nice tool. Let me see if Google knows. Hey Google, what is Postman?
Here's a summary from the website kb.uwm.edu. Postman is a software development tool. It enables people to test calls to APIs. Postman users enter data. Typically, information is returned, which Postman presents to the user. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
So it is, to restate what it says, Postman is a software development tool that enables people to test calls to APIs. We are using an API, so we're going to test that call. Let's go back and figure out what our URL is. Here's the URL that we were just given for our API. Now if we just hit this, and we take this out, because let's just take this out, send. Let's see what we get back. Missing name, awesome. So it does exist and it knows that we are missing a name. Let's make name, let's just make it testing. Testing, send that. Okay, and now this error could not handle the request. That's no good. Error could not handle the request. That's never any good. And now I'm out of cherries, so I gotta figure out something else to eat. Error could not handle the request. Let's see what we're missing. Let's go to logs. And now we just want add beta tester. What? Oh, not add beta tester. Add looping. Come on, sweets, you're getting tired. But you're better than this. Okay, so we're getting crashes. Why are we crashing? So we're printing something. Let's go to our other VS Code window. We're printing request.args, and it's an immutable map. Instead of printing request.args, let's print name. And then let's just go ahead and deploy. We're going to redeploy that while we're here waiting. Missing name, otherwise we get the skill ID, and then we upload the backend code, otherwise we print error. Okay, did we ever print error? I have not seen us print error, and we're returning 412 when we were missing name. I wonder what is going on. Let's try Postman again. Why couldn't we handle the request? What's latest submission? Ah, that doesn't exist. That does not exist. That's something that exists up here. Success. GitLab pipeline triggered. Looping being added to musician, and then we'll add name. This is Python. I don't know if that works. Python is a language that I'm familiar with, but I would not say an expert at by any means. So now we'll deploy that again. So I believe, let me restate what the issue is, or at least what I believe the issue is. We were returning this latest submission, which is a variable that existed from the function I copied. This is one of the downsides of just copying and pasting a function. So now I've removed the latest submission, and now it should be, now the response to the API should tell us success. And I don't need this string because it's not a variable. All right. Yeah, let's see if that does. Let's see if that does the trick. Okay, so we're deploying, and then we're gonna try it over in Postman. I'm curious if it was triggering the pipeline, because it made it seem like we weren't actually hitting any errors. So let's go to command line, or CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development. I don't think it's this one that does it. I think it is musician AI that we're triggering. Not musician AI. What is it called? Let's just look up musician. Interactive. Let's just go to all of our projects. Yeah, here it is, update. And what is the code base I'm currently looking at? See, I jump between a lot of projects, and maybe that's an issue. No, it's not an issue, it's just, get your head on straight, dude. One step at a time. Do the simplest thing that could possibly work. Okay, we now have a new version. Let's try Postman and see what it says. Okay, looping is now being added to musician testing. And let's see over here what it's actually triggering. Add looping. This is going to upload backend code, which is going to trigger, it ends in 981. Let's go down to our settings and see. Okay, I'm gonna move this off of the screen because I'm not sure this is info I want to be sharing. Now we want CI/CD, and I'm looking for one that ends in 981. Yeah, this is it, 981. And we pass in reference name, we pass in a token, and then we pass in some of those other variables. So are you actually triggering? But you're not actually triggering it, which is surprising to me. Are we still crashing? I'm back over here to logs. So it looks like we're fine. Let's flop this. Got a call in 14 minutes with one of our engineers, Harrison. Error token is missing. Add looping to musician, error token is missing. Let's hit it again and see if we still get error token is missing. We'll hit it 3 times. It's always a good feeling with the number 3. Alright, so where are we getting the token from? It's my next question. Is from get environment variables GitLab token, and you're telling me that the token is not specified? Very peculiar. Let's go back to onSmappy skill creation. onSmappy skill creation. I don't think we're doing anything special. So why is token missing? Yeah, so it's consistently telling me that token is missing. And my head is feeling a little bit frazzled right now. Feel like I do not understand why this is failing, and I kind of want to take a little break before the meeting. I would like to take a walk, but I don't need a walk. Alright, what do we do here? What do we do here? Stay focused. What you focus on grows, what you think about expands, what you dwell upon determines your destiny. What you focus on grows, what you think about expands, what you dwell upon determines your destiny. What you focus on grows, what you think about expands, what you dwell upon determines your destiny. It's telling me that token is missing. Alright, is that the case for the other functions that use it? Token is missing. Just close out of this for a sec. I'm going to start reducing complexity. I'm just going to start closing things down. Okay, upload backend code. Token is missing. OnSmappy skill creation should be triggered whenever a new musician is created. So when was the last time OnSmappy skill creation was actually triggered? The last time OnSmappy skill creation was triggered is June 30th. So not at all in July. It hasn't been tested for over a week. And I'm not seeing anything about a token not working. June 30th, does that align with what we see over our pipelines on GitLab? Set a line over here, June 30th. Yep, there it is. Okay, so it looks like it's working fine. I'm going to test it by deleting the musician that's associated with me, and then I'll create a new musician to watch the function get triggered. Because it looks like it's firing exactly as it should be. Users filter by email. Yep, give me voice first tech. Voice first tech. I'm just going to delete this. Delete testing. So now if I go to Alexa, stop it with the caps lock, alexaformusicians.com. I'm going to get started. Let's sign out. I guess I'm signing into a different account. I want to sign in with voicefirsttech@gmail. Cool. So now I'm going to call this testing July, what's today's date? Today's July 8th, I believe. July 8th. My phone number 513-850-5895. And now when we click next, we should see new logs over here on July 8th. Drinking a little bit of water. Nine minutes. I definitely need to cut this live stream at 5:25. So I'm going to start to wrap it up. The initial goal was to save data from our React database inside of this database, which we are doing, as you can see down inside of testing. And testing July 8 is going and it's building and it's doing the things, which is awesome. We were able to save this data and read it from Firebase. So we were able to save all this data to Firebase using our web interface. And we were also able to read the data from Firebase using our web interface. Currently trying to run a pipeline, and there it is. So the pipeline's running just fine. I don't know why it's telling me sometimes that it doesn't have the variable token, and other times it is. That's something I'll have to debug on Friday. On Friday I will be debugging that. In the meantime, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you want to build your own musician, you can visit alexaformusicians.com. This video is for the developers, so if you're interested in learning more about building these types of applications, you can take our Udemy course, the Ultimate Voice Dev Udemy course. Ultimate Voice Dev course. This is a course that we put on, and it is currently discounted. Usual retail price is $95, and now it's down to $12.99. And we have a few different, where we're actually adding in a new section right now, including basic JavaScript. So if you want to learn more, you can check out this Udemy course, Ultimate Voice Dev course. We built it. It was last updated this month. We've been updating it regularly. And if you have any questions, you can message us on all social media sites at VoiceFirstAI. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.